Hello and welcome back to the PowerUp podcast. This is your host Nathan Shields. This is episode 80, very first episode of season 5 of the PowerUp podcast. I am very excited for the podcast to be back. MKX is here and that is the occasion. That is the occasion for the PowerUp podcast's return, and we have a couple of great guests from the local community. That is going to be our focus. Local stuff, community faces, community heads. It's going to be awesome. So, without further ado, we've got Quentin Ross and Scott Stringer, Arkayne and Sonic Lionheart, two long-term members of the community. I've known Quentin for quite a while. Scott, I've learned more about just recently. Injustice was his game. That's how I got to know him. He's become a pretty awesome person to have around, so looking forward to more with him. We talk about quite a few things in this episode of the podcast. We, of course, give our intros. We talk about our characters. For me, it's mostly my woes with Shinnok. We talk about our impressions of MKX, story mode, the lore, lots of things going on. A little bit about Kung Jin as well. If you know how that's been going, you'll know what I'm talking about. We were going to talk about option selects, but we kind of flubbed that one a little bit. So go online and try to find the option selects by Ultra David. It's great stuff for competitive players. We talk about our local events, Brutality and School Onslaught. Brutality April we just had recently on the 18th. Videos are up on the PowerUp YouTube channel. Brutality May is going to be May 30th, so if you can make it out, please do. We'd love to have you. We talk a little bit about Northwest Majors, other upcoming things that we'd like to do related to Mortal Kombat X, and then the biggest part of the podcast, and arguably the most fun for everyone involved, was creating our personal tier lists for the game. We know it's super early, but who cares? We're going to do it anyways, and we had a whole lot of fun with it. So we hope you will as well. Look forward to more of the PowerUp podcast in the future with other guests from the local community. That's going to be the way it is. We look forward to sharing that with you, and we'll talk to you soon. So Quentin, go ahead and introduce yourself. I think you were on the podcast once or twice before, so go for it.
All right, well, my name is Quentin Ross. I go by Arkayne in the fight game community. I like to play like literally everything. You know, there's probably not a fighting game I have not played or dabbled in, or at least know how to play. I guess that works out, right?
Absolutely. I know you've been playing a lot of that Hyper Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah, I played a lot of that too, and yeah, we had a few tournaments at AL about it, and I like won like every single one.
You've destroyed people's motivation.
Yeah.
All right, Scott Stringer, this is going to be your first time on the podcast. Probably the first time you've heard about the podcast since I did it.
It is.
So go for it. Introduce who you are, your introduction or history in the fighting game community.
Yeah, my name is Scott Stringer. I go by Sonic Lionheart. I'm mostly known on Test Your Might. I was a big Injustice player. I actually traveled multiple tournaments, went to GGA, hung out, was considered one of the best hot girls along with GGA Pim Pim Jim. And like Quentin, there's pretty much not a fighting game I haven't dabbled in. I play Street Fighter, Marvel, pretty much everything.
Nice. And then for all the hopefully new listeners, since this is actually season 5 of the podcast, it's like episode, if I'm going in the actual order, it's around 75, I think. Something like that. Well, I am Nathan Shields, formerly known as Osiren, but please call me Nathan. And my history, it goes back to '09. I'm kind of in the middle of you guys. Quentin is older school than I am, and I think I'm a little older school than you might be, Scott. Well, Scott, I'm not sure. How long have you been playing fighting games competitively?
Competitively, probably since the very first Street Fighter 4.
Okay, so about the same amount of time as me. For anybody new to the podcast, I run PowerUp. I ran the regional tournament, PowerUp 2010, to nationally recognized, but still regional in scope, PowerUp 2011 and 2012. And Mortal Kombat comes in because of 2011. That was the first MK9 tournament. And that was fun because we had people come out from California and all over the place. That's the origin of the great tournament, great experience meme. No matter what anybody says, it started there, and it was because Spooky Stream messed up on our internet. So there you go. So yeah, that's me. These are the guests. We're gonna switch it up. I'll always be around because I can record stuff. But we're gonna switch up the guests every time we do this. Probably once, maybe twice a month if there's something really crazy going on. But this is gonna be it. New Power Up podcast. We're talking about Mortal Kombat X pretty much exclusively because that's all I'm really spending my time on. I know you guys are kind of multi gamer. Multiplacial is what I used to call it, when you have multiple games that you'd like to focus on. Scott, tell us a little bit about your Killer Instinct. I know that you were saying to me at Brutality you got a little bit of official recognition for your skills with Maya, right?
Yes, I actually got an email from Iron Galaxy saying that I am considered one of the top Mayas online.
How cool is that, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to see if they're willing
I
to...
can see Quentin now. He's just like leaning back in his seat like, oh, damn. All right.
So I'm trying to see if Iron Galaxy is willing to take me a little bit further, maybe go to some majors representing Maya, especially since you just got the Nerf bat. So a lot of people
Lionheart.
are staying away from Maya. So I haven't dropped her yet.
By the way?
No, I have not, actually.
Well, look forward to that. Keats is a nice man. I shouldn't jest. But yeah, he's a nice guy. Strong personality, for sure. So when you meet him, you'll know. He's definitely got his own way to go about interacting with people. But he's a very good guy. I mean, he can't have made dive kick without not only stepping on a few toes, literally, you're dive kicking on somebody, but without being also a very good, manager. So yeah, but that's awesome with the Killer Instinct stuff, and that's all we'll talk about with that. Tell me about MKX. Scott, go right ahead. Who you been playing?
Well, the game first came out, I started with Cassie. I fell in love with Cassie. I loved her overall character design, everything about her. I still dabble with her, but now the podcast know this. I have a broken hand. She's a little bit too much for me to use right now. So I've been primarily playing Jacqueline Briggs and Takahashi Kenshi.
Nice. Quentin, who you've been playing Melina, but I know, have you been dabbling Katana a little bit?
Yes, I have been dabbling in Katana. I have also been dabbling in Devora and Reptile as well.
Okay, nice. Good choices.
But I'm mainly playing, Melina until Tanya comes around.
Right. I was so weirded out. Someone on Test Your Might posted that Tanya had a redesign. So I looked at the image and it looked like the same model, just a different pose and slightly different lighting. So I don't know. I feel like that person overreacted a little bit. I don't think that there was an actually new model.
Yeah, No, I think they tightened her model up a little bit, but they also took her design back to looking like it was in Mortal Kombat 4. With the white eyes.
So, yeah, sorry about the disturbance. We're back. Quentin had a little bit of internet problem, but no worries. All right, so for me, I loved Shinnok. Hey, he was on the MK Combat Cast. This character looks like somebody I can like. No Baraka, fine. No arm blades, okay, I can live with that because Bone Sickle, right? Or hashtag Bone Sickle, whatever they used during that. And I'm like, this character is going to be awesome. So I've got my little notebook here in front of me. And, well, yeah, I put the Shinnok stuff in archive now. My coworker Ryan Otto convinced me not to throw it away with extreme prejudice. So I've got unpunishable strings, mix-up strings, of which he has very few, by the way. Safe specials, spoiler alert, none. Fastest cancelable normal, 1. Anti-airs, not that great, actually. Safe pokes, wonderful, -1 is my fastest. No advantage for Shinnok. General playstyle so far, mixed zoner and mid-risk / mid-reward up close. Yeah, well, I'm just going to put this back into the archive. Anyways, yeah, so I was playing a set with MK Legend after the end of Old School Onslaught, And I was just curious. I wonder if he can dive kick through Shinnok's sparks. So I purposely threw out sparks, and sure enough, he dove kick with timing. I'm sure he didn't plan it, but just the fact that it could happen so easily. The first spark was too high, and the second spark hadn't hit him, so he dove kick right between them and got a full combo on me. So, when that happened, he laughed, I laughed, and I secretly thought to myself, fuck Shinnok. So, yeah, I'm currently searching for a new character to play. And as far as those ideas, I've got Raiden Master of Storms, maybe. I've got a little bit of an inkling toward Devora as well, actually, Quentin. And a few other characters who I feel have really strong wake-up games. Maybe Quan Chi, but I feel like Quan Chi's going to be everybody's best friend for a little bit, so I don't really want to play him. But we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so that's it for characters and my Shinnok suffering. Jeez. I tell ya, I thought... An imposter's probably not a bad variation, it's just that... I don't really want to play that kind of character necessarily. And with the teleports, he still can't really build meter. His zoning still sucks, so I don't know. I don't see how you can even open them up into the imposter grab. I still don't just quite understand, even with the teleport. So, I don't know. But I'm sure somebody will prove me wrong. Somebody who's really good with imposter Shinnok. Because that seems to be the only variation that's really playable. So you guys,
the only person I can say that actually plays him is Alex Valle.
Right.
Cali Power seems the only person that's actually, from what I can tell, doing something with Shinnok.
There was someone who posted on Testroom, because I was kind of lurking the Shinnok general discussion for a while, and there was this one gentleman, I think, from the East Coast. He played at 8 on the Break a lot. I forget his name off the top of my head. Let me see if I can find him. Give him a little shout out here. Let's see. Oh, look, Raiden Mid-Screen Vortex. That could be a good thing for me and my aspirations to play Raiden.
Yeah, Raiden is really good.
Yeah, I think so. I think I need to play with him and do some research, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he'll be able to maintain pressure as well as some characters.
Well, in the corner can really maintain the pressure because he has great damage and good pressure in the corner. Yeah, he has a little struggle in mid-screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of agree, but I kind of disagree a little. I don't know if you guys have played with Thunder God Raiden yet, but Thunder God Raiden is like the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a long time.
It's his best variation. Yeah, yes, Thunder God is his best variation.
Tell me why.
He has very good pressure in it, and also the way you work it, and when you do the certain strings and you hold the button afterwards, it does extra damage and chip damage, so it pushes him out a lot. So like certain things you could punish before, you can't punish him. Because Jalon, I was playing Jalon at the first tournament we had at Thursday at AL, and he pretty much like beat me really bad with Thunder God Raiden because I'm like, I can't punish anything. This is ridiculous. He could also and he could also do his I don't know what that anti-air burst move is, but like apparently if you do it, it sits out there forever. So I thought maybe, hey, I can telekick punish it with Melina, right? No, apparently if I'm telekicking in the air, it's hitting me and I'm like falling out of the air before I'm even out of the move yet.
Well, those are universal. So what about Thunder God specifically makes it better than, for example, Master of Storms? Because that's the variation I wanted to try.
Because I feel like it's the way his pressure works in that variation because of the fact that he gets that extra lightning on his moves now. So like when you do a string and you hold the button, it does like 4 or 5 hits of lightning and shit, but it also pushes him out of the way of things. So he pretty much kind of controls the way you work a little bit. Because then let's say he does a string that pushes you out of range. If you have a character like mine who doesn't have good pokes, I'm really in trouble because I have to take the mix up.
Right. I understand.
It's really good. It's like it's extremely devastating. I know Nick was having problems with it as well, and he plays Kung Lao.
Yeah.
And apparently Jalon was just stuffing everything that he could do, and
one of the big problems a lot of people don't realize yet is that if anything that has armor, Thunder God Raiden beats because of the multiple hits.
The multi-hits, right.
It automatically blows up wake-ups, it blows up armor, and once he pushes you to the corner, for 1 meter, I think the most recorded damage is 53 for 1 meter in the corner. So his overall damage and his ability to break armor to push you to that corner, he does struggle a little bit in the mid-screen, but if he can get you that corner, that's where he really wins the match.
Interesting. Because I was kind of leaning towards trying Master of Storms, really only because I liked his ability to trap on Wake Up. I thought that was pretty cool, if a little hard to set up, but it sounds like he's basically unpunishable in Thunder God. That's powerful.
It is very powerful in a game like this, where you want to try to like be how you say overwhelming to your opponent on certain situations. Yes, it is very powerful.
This is a very mix-up heavy game.
Yes. And it's like, and he also, after his combos and damage, he actually gets good reset options because of the way his strings work. It's just like...
he does have one string that leads you back into a restand.
Yes.
Well, very interesting. Maybe I should try that out or just keep on searching. But you guys were talking a little bit about the game in general, mix-up heavy, so that's a good segue into MKX Impressions. I'll go first just because mine's relatively simple. I really enjoy the game. I think it's a lot of fun because I've always had just an affinity for Mortal Kombat games and Injustice 2, NRS games, I guess. There's just something about them where I enjoy the input style, I enjoy the characters. I blew through story mode. I haven't messed with any of the other modes, but just from MKX as purely a fighting game and looking at it just that way as a competitive fighting game, I enjoy that they have the frame data in there, even though it's not all correct apparently. And I've been reading there. You have to interpret it different ways based on what state your opponent's going to be ending up in, whether it's block or trying to do a special move or a normal as a punish. There are different ways to read the frame data apparently. I kind of think it's fun that there are going to be option selects. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Gives me something Street Fighter-esque to try to practice. And I really enjoy the community again with Mortal Kombat X. So I think it's a fun game, and I enjoy making the hard reads. I enjoy discovering pressure strings and mix-up strings, and I think MKX is going to be a good game for quite a while. Quentin, go ahead. Go next.
Okay, so my impressions. First of all, I made the mistake of playing this game on Steam. But we won't get into that. We'll act like that's not there. But it's a lot better now. Anyways, though, I have put like at least 80 hours, I feel like, into this game already, and practicing time and everything, and I actually really like it because I'm also a UMK3 player. That's like my favorite Mortal Kombat ever, and it kind of feels like UMK3 to me, like with the whole way the run mechanic works and how the offense works, kind of just, it feels right.
Nice.
And I like it. I love it. I wish my character wasn't gone, but hey, it happens.
Who was your other character who's gone?
Jade.
Oh yeah, right, of course. Well, you've got a lot of the different ladies that you're choosing from now, though. So I mean, one down, not so bad. Is that sexist? I don't know.
And my Bihan Sub-Zero, because I'm a big fan of Ground Freeze and this Kuai Liang. So
very nice.
But other than that, though, I do like it a lot. Enjoy playing it. It's fun. Find it fun and enjoyable. So makes it even easier for me to just want to play.
Excellent. Scott, go ahead.
So far I'm really liking the game. I feel they did take a few things from Injustice. I don't think interactables play too big of a part as they did in Injustice, because sometimes interactables in Injustice were just amazing.
Right.
But they did. I mean, the interactables are interesting. I have experimented a few combos with the interactables. I do think that the game is very mix-up heavy compared to every other things. There's not a lot of zoning in this game because so far from what I can tell, like Kenshi, for instance, he is punishable on his zoning because if you know he has full screen punishes. If you block it and then you run right after blocking it, he's in recovery so long that you can get into punishment range. Wow. And then if he tries anything after that, you block it and now you punish.
Right.
So the game doesn't favor zoning. Like I said, the only big character that seems to be like good at zoning right now is Jacqueline. Full auto is very good.
Kind of also.
Yeah, I agree with Quan Chi actually as well.
But no, in general, I completely agree. I was thinking about earlier today, where do I think MKX is going to go as far as how the game is supposed to be played at a highly competitive level based on just the characters that are in the game now. And I really didn't see a place for really strong zoning. I saw it as really just a means to an end of getting in your opponent's face, except for a couple characters, Quan Chi. And then tell us some more about Jackie, Scott, and what makes her zoning game maybe on par with Summoner Quan Chi from what we've seen so far.
So far from what I can tell, like if I'm spamming my machine gun spray and you block it, if you block it, on block I build about almost half a bar of meter from you blocking one set of my bullets. So that means if you block two, I now have a bar of meter. With the bar of meter, I can meter burn the machine gun, creating a rocket that hits mid, that if it hits you, it knocks you back full screen. If you block it, it still knocks you back for enough that you're going to have to block or try to get around more gun spray.
Does she have options for dealing with, for example, Scorpion teleport? Is there a good way for her to read and get some damage that's not just like a neutral double punch?
Now, one of the great things that I've noticed, like you mentioned option selects, is if someone teleports behind me, I have an up rocket. If I time it just right, I'll stop the machine gun spray, turn around, and up rocket.
Ooh, nice.
So when they teleport, if I inputted it just right, it option selects into an up rocket, which if I meter burn, I get a full up to 40% or up to 42% combo off of it.
Oh, so you're saying that if you input the regular, what was the first move called again?
I call it machine gun spray.
So machine gun spray. We can find the real name later. I'm sure someone will know. But yeah, so you're doing machine gun spray, and then if you do it with a correct timing, if they teleport, it'll autocorrect.
Yes, into the rocket.
That's awesome. I like that.
That's the great thing. That I don't think she's top, but I think she's a solid character because she has good ways to force you to try to work your way in. That'll build me a lot of meter. Once you're in, she has one bar of meter, like 42% combos.
Nice.
Which is not bad at all.
No, not at all. In general, it seems like a lot of the characters have similar damage outputs so far, and I kind of enjoy that. Being able to have different styles that are still leading into relatively similar damage. There are some standouts. Raid and Katana kind of jump to mind as examples of characters with higher than average combo potential damage. Kung Jin, yeah. Whoa, man, I don't.
We don't talk about that. I think he's a little too good on the damage output right now.
I think that'll be like the first, because we know they're coming. We know the nerfs and the buffs are coming. Yeah. So I think that's going to be one of the. Go
Predator. Ahead. The first patch is scheduled for Predator.
Oh, really? How do you know that?
They've been talking. That's all the buzz on Test Your Might is that we're going to get small patch and fixes, some balancing along when we get Predator.
Okay, all right. Is there any incoming date on that Ermac patch for the build 1 meter? Doing pretty much, he could fart in the air and apparently he builds a meter.
I know that I think it's Tuesday. They're doing a combat cast that'll show off Predator. Or show off Jason.
Oh, okay.
I said Predator. It was Jason Voorhees.
Oh, okay. Now we got it. Okay, that's not that far away then, May 5th.
Yeah, so they'll definitely show off, what they're changing and stuff along with Jason.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome that they're gonna. I mean, they did relatively good patch notes with Injustice, but to actually have a cast about that is pretty cool. A nice improvement, I think. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
They're speaking of, let's talk about NRS's behavior in general. I like the ESL League, so that's a good impression. I don't know how it's been going. The people who should be winning have been winning, so that leads me to believe that the online's not horrible, not creating randomness. Because I think Sonic Fox won the first one, Rio won the second one, and then I don't know if the
Sonic
third
Fox
one...
won the third one.
Oh, nice. See, nobody can beat this kid. I don't understand. Anyways, but yeah, I like the ESL League and that partnership. I think that's cool. I like that. I like the Combat Cast a lot. I was jonesing for some Combat Cast back before the game came out, and now I'm excited. So thanks, Scott, to know that there's more coming of
Yeah, they're still going to do
Lansdowne
Combat Cast along with the DLC characters.
Nice. That's cool. And then they've been popping on Twitter. I've been following them on Twitter. Maybe they were always like that. Maybe I'm just a Twitter noob. But it seems like they post relatively often, and it's not just like fluff, but it's like an art thing here or there. And then they'll post, hey, by the way, here's a faction challenge, or hey, the employees are going to be on PSN and Xbox Live here in a minute, so get on there and play them, and get some sort of special medal or something, or achievement if you beat them. Stuff like that, I think, is really cool, and an example of how NRS is reaching even deeper into the community to get feedback or just to help us all feel more connected. How do you guys feel about that?
I like it a lot, actually. Mm-hmm. It's very welcoming and helps to kind of like keep the community fresh and help it grow some. At least if they're actively doing things, to keep it interesting. Exactly. Especially like the whole thing about getting like icons and titles and stuff by beating the developers, which is fantastic. I do agree.
Absolutely. Scott, what do you think? What's your opinion?
I think they started that with Injustice. They were very good about, hey, we realize Superman's damage output's a little bit too much, or we realize that you guys are having trouble with Deathstroke's guns, and they seem to be really good about realizing something and paying attention to the tournaments. Like I give Ed Boon his credit, because for a while there, Ed Boon was even tweeting who he thought was the best at certain characters. Because I know that as a Nightwing player, which you used to be, so you know, he actually posted about 3 videos. He's like, this is who I think the best Nightwing player is. This is who you need to be learning from. So it's nice that they actually didn't just really produce the game and backed away. They're actually actively watching it.
I love it. Absolutely. Anybody else have any other topics? MKX impressions in general, game, community, NRS, otherwise? Anything I'm forgetting?
I don't think so, but I do. Here's something else I do find interesting. I do think it's interesting that they're finally actually killing off characters and creating a new lore in the Mortal Kombat world, which I do find interesting. It's, as somebody told me the other day, they said Mortal Kombat X feels like bring your kid to work day.
Okay.
They're definitely creating a legacy. I agree, because it really has passed the torch down. Because if you don't know the backstory of the game, is Johnny Cage is pretty much the game character. He is the character the game was based around. Mm-hmm. And now they're passing that torch on to Cassie and her team, which they all have ties to the previous cast members.
No, that's true, yeah. Well, I guess we can expect Mortal Kombat X1 or 11. I don't know what they'll call the next one. Double X. Triple X R-rated. Anyways. It's not just going to be fatalities, but pornalities? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Melina's costume in MK9.
It might already been some pornality going on. She's going to eat your face, and then who knows?
I don't know. If you've done story mode, there is a quite sexual and horrifying moment in story mode with her and Devora.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that was going to be sexy. It wasn't really.
No. Not at all.
No, but let's talk about something that is fabulous, and that is Kung Jin, right?
Oh boy.
Yeah, we can't get away of story mode and canon stuff without talking about Kung Jin. And, I'm not sure how you guys feel about it, but I think it's cool. And for anyone who's listening is like, are they playing the pronoun game or something? No, Kung Jin is gay, apparently. He's homosexual, and I think that's cool. Thoughts? Give me your thoughts.
I think it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I like the change. I think it's great. I think it's good to introduce, new aspects into the game.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I might be going ahead of myself here, but how Kung Jin's homosexual, and Jackie and Takeda are in a interracial relationship. Yeah. There's just so many of those things going on, and I think that's interesting. To me, that kind of thing breathes life into a game, and gives it a new, fresh outlook.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Scott, what do you think?
I actually like how subtle it is, because, like you said, for Kung Jin, without too many spoilers, Raiden is very subtle about it.
Yeah.
If you want to join the Shaolin, it matters what's in your heart, not whom your heart desires.
Yeah, when I first heard him say that, I was like, wait, does he mean... Because it wasn't super clear, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't catch it at first, too, until all of it came out, and, even Johnny Young Bosch, which is the voice actor for Kung Jin, came out, and he's like, hey, yeah, my character is gay.
Right,
I'm completely okay with it, otherwise I wouldn't have, voiced him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I love the fact that they're just moving on, because even like he said, Jacqueline and Takeda, you have a young Asian boy dating a young black female, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, love it. I wish I was a young Asian man, and that I could date hot, kick-ass black women. But shout outs to my wife, who is a hot, kick-ass black woman. So. I do think it's a little weird, just media speak in general, how you're seeing a lot more interracial couples and same-sex couples in advertising. That just kind of creeps me out, because it's like, oh, now they know me, and I'm uncomfortable with that. But anyways, so yeah, Kung Jin story mode, lots of cool stuff with MKX Impressions culturally, gameplay-wise. Solid, I would say 9s out of 10 for me. If they can one day just get the frame data right the whole time, then I'll be a happy camper. So
yeah, I really enjoyed the story mode, how well it transitioned from MK9 to MK10, and just bringing back Shinnok, who's been the master plan, because that's not even big story. That happens at the very beginning of the game. Shinnok's been the big master planist of everything that's transpired, even though he hasn't been in all the games.
Yes.
Yeah, I get the feeling, I'm not huge on lore stuff, but I get the feeling that they're greatly expanding the Mortal Kombat universe with this game, because I've never really heard of Osh-Tech warriors, Kotal Khan apparently is related to them, and Devora is a whole new thing, and then I've heard they're kind of expanding reptiles, think he's a Saurian. So I don't know if that was already something that was in the lore, but it just seems like they're making it, if not expanding it, making it a lot more obvious for fans that these different characters are coming from different places and different realms in the MK universe. Do you guys get that feeling?
Yeah, I do actually. I do.
Yeah, I really like that fact. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go for it.
Go ahead, Scott.
I actually think DC is playing a good part of this, because if you didn't know, there is an MKX comic, a long going on that's still going, even though the games are already out comic. I think they actually reached out to DC, because I know one of the combat casts, it was just about the comic. They brought one of the artists on, and he even talked about all the lore he remembers and stuff like that. It seems they're getting good writers from DC to come in and say, hey, what would you do with our characters?
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. All right, well, let's move on. We're going to move option selects to after event stuff for right now. So let's talk Brutality first, and then we'll do Northwest Majors after that. So Brutality, yeah, I run the Brutality series with a lot of help from the community. The volunteers were awesome, bringing systems and doing consistent commentary. At least we met one of our goals, which was awesome. and it made the videos watchable, even if we did have those HD issues with the recording stuff. But yeah, Brutality, April 2015, first of the new Brutality series. I thought it went pretty darn well. Solid B minus tournament, from my perspective anyway. Scott, give me some of your perspective on it as a player, helper outer here and there, What'd you think?
I loved it. I thought everything went off really well, other than a small problems that we can save for another time, or that some of us Xbox players had a little.
Bring that up. Actually, we'll do that. We'll do that a little bit later. We'll talk about PS4 v Xbox. But yeah, keep going.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, I think it was great. We met new people that we didn't know. Like we got MK Legend hyped up for us, but I personally never met the boy, and he's really good and really nice, and
and then Sebastian, the new kid. I heard he was like 12. Is that true?
Yes, he's really young, and he plays Killer Instinct, Smash Brothers, and MKX.
Kids, I wish I was still one. Man, I've barely got time to do this podcast, let alone play games all day.
Yeah, me and Jesse were talking about that, actually, because me and Jesse a little bit closer in age than a lot of people know.
Really?
28.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How old's Jesse? I don't think I've ever known how old he is.
He's 32, 33.
Really? Maybe it's all this running the arcade that's stressed him out.
He doesn't seem that young, actually. I mean, well, he's like, I don't know.
No, you're right, Quentin. He seems older.
He does seem a lot older. But he looks, but it's, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I wouldn't have pictured him being that age, but I wouldn't have pictured him being older than that either.
Yeah, you both are older than me.
Is that weird?
Quentin, you're 27, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 26. I just turned 26, so I'm a bit younger.
Yeah, me and Ross have known each other for a while.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what were we talking about? Oh no, I'm so unprofessional.
We were talking about brutality. Sorry.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're just getting off. Sorry, we're getting on. We're getting on about these younger kids who are coming in and doing really well, and hopefully you're going to stick around in the community for quite a while. I hope so, for sure.
Look at Sonic Fox.
Yeah,
came out of nowhere, running the scene. I've met him. He's actually really nice.
Is he? He seems like a goofball too, which is fun.
He is, and he's just really friendly. Like, if you ask, hey, can we play some sets? He's very eager to sit down and play sets with everybody. And his parents are really nice. Because his parents are never far behind. If you didn't know that.
No, I mean I didn't know that, but it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because I know I was at UFC T9, I think, and it was when PR Balrog and who's that player? The Fei Long from Florida. What's his name? The younger kid, CJ Truth. There it is.
Yes. There we go.
So I remember that moment where CJ Truth lost to PR Balrog, but he had like beat him earlier or something like that, and PR Balrog like popped off in his face, and then CJ Truth's mom came up and kind of like stuck up for her son, and then Eduardo came back up and like shook his hand and. Oh Lord!
Awkward.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't think mom's right around the corner watching what you're doing in the FGC, but she is. She is. So
that is pretty funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember that. Let me get some water.
That is funny.
Yeah. So excellent. But yeah, that's cool that his parents are so involved. I kind of wondered because I'm sure they might have, aspirations for their son beyond fighting games, but he's won, at least so far, just from the ESL, he's probably won over 10 grand. So that's a lot of college tuition money if that's his plan in life for sure.
Oh yeah, Sonic Fox he's amassed quite a bit for his parents. Like,
yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, I kind of wish that sort of stuff was around when I was younger. You guys and me, we're just like one generation off from being able to have played like Pokemon trading card game for super amounts of money and and MOBAs and fighting games and shooters and anything else, you know? I mean, I was spending my time just playing regular old video games. If I had known about all this and all the money that there was potentially for it, maybe I would have used my time differently. But c'est la guerre. No sense in looking to the past.
There was a time, I'll never forget this, when, you know, like when Shoryuken was still fresh and it was hard to like, find tournaments. You had to kind of like, you know, just figure stuff out on your own.
Yeah.
And now it's just like there's so much out there and so much around and so many resources for information on fighting games where before there really wasn't.
So cool, definitely. And that's what we're trying to do here. This is part of the entertainment mission of PowerUp as the podcast. A little bit of education here and there, but sometimes you just want to say fuck education, right? Yes. I mean, I want to be a school teacher, but still, every once in a while, it's just like, set it aside, let's have some fun. And you can still learn, too. Don't tell the kids that, but you can, and you can have some fun. All right, so Brutality, April 2015, pretty cool stuff. Right now, Action Jackson and MK Legend seem like two of the stronger players, at least results-wise. They both have won the two most recent Arcade Legacy tournaments for our local area. So two players to keep an eye on, and Liu Kang and Kung Lao, respectively. I think Kung Lao for life in MK Legends case. I don't know. I mean, Action Jackson seems like he's got some loyalty to Liu Kang. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let's.
If you want to transition to OSO, we could.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because me and you both did really or better than we did at Brutality.
Well, I beat my demon. I beat Paris with Shinnok, and he beat me at Brutality, and I was kind of salty about that. But I managed to beat him at that event, and shout outs to him. I think his katana is legit, and he should definitely keep playing and practicing. Hopefully he keeps coming to events for sure. But yeah, I at least met that goal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to say that because I mean, I made it all the way up to winners finals, knocking Chase, who was like second
place
at Brutality. I knocked Chase to losers. I knocked Paris to losers. I knocked Adam Jackson or Action Jackson. I knocked him. I knocked most of our heavy hitters into losers.
Yeah, you did with Jackie, which is awesome for sure. Have you been keeping up, trying to find some new stuff with her?
Yeah, I definitely like I told Chase, doing just experimentation. I think it's I'm gonna go ahead and call it an unwinnable matchup. I think it's unwinnable for Goro. He cannot get around the zoning, regardless of how much armor he can put on. She fires more bullets.
Yeah, that seems to be the thing. It's like they gave everybody cool universal armor options with meter, and then they were like, well, we have to give also players a way to completely shut that down. So, yeah. All right. Interesting.
I loved OSO, and I think we did a good job, and I actually loved it. And we had some of our top players come just for OSO, like MK Legend, Action Jackson. Yes. I'll put me and you in there, because screw everybody.
Yeah, why not, right? I mean, right now I'm kind of characterless, so I think that makes me non-tiered, which is kind of cool. I don't have a tier right now. That's cool.
and I unfortunately miss Brutality.
Yeah, well, we gotta work.
Yeah,
I get lucky
because I do have I have lots of nice things with my character.
I believe it. After this podcast, I've got other chores to do, adult things, just dishes and stuff. But I hopefully will be able to sit down and explore either Raiden or Devora or maybe some other character who strikes my fancy and do the same research that I did for Shinnok, just to find out who he's bad. Maybe with another character, I'll do all this research and find out there's more good than bad, and that would just make my evening.
Yeah, that's where I'm the lucky one with a broken hand.
This is a random thought, Nathan.
What's up?
But I do feel like you might actually like Devora from what I've known you playing, because she's very she has really high damage output, and you don't really have to do much with her. She has what I like to call the Vortex.
Yeah, I because about that a little bit.
Yeah, her venomous variation. I suggest playing that because it's like her strings are just
Do you think Venomous is the best?
I think Venomous is, I think Venomous and Swarm Queen are the ones to play. But I do think like the main one to kind of I feel like you want to stick with is Venomous.
Really?
I guess it's because of the venom, if you will say so.
No, I mean, I'm in there
like,
with you. I think Venomous is the one I would prefer to play. I've just been reading that apparently Swarm Queen, people like that variation more. So
full screen confirms. That's why she literally has. Right. Yeah, she has full screen confirms.
Yeah, because of the bug bomb and then run up combo.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Now you also get the little like bug float deal thing going on, but I just feel like for you it will work because Devora, she has really good strings and she's a pokey character.
Right.
She's not one you do a lot with. She's all kind of like I know. See, that's why I suggested that to you. Yep. And it's just like her she has really good ranges where she can like do certain things to make certain things safe that aren't actually safe.
Right.
Like one I do a lot of is I walk inside a sweep distance and I'll do down 3 into the needle stab. Otherwise it's not safe. But if I do it at that distance, it makes it safe. And it starts up her options.
Very cool. Yeah, we'll see where Venomous goes, as people play her more, because I know a lot of folks are really liking her bug cancel pressure. So, does that take up stamina, by the way, to do that cancel out of the bug, or is it just a dash cancel, no stamina required? Does anybody know? I haven't tested it.
I think it is, because if you're talking about the bug where you dash cancel it, it's actually a move. Whereas you do the bug, you hold the button and you can dash out of it to cancel it.
Oh, yeah, but it doesn't take any stamina?
No, I don't think so.
That seems pretty powerful, because I know some character needed stamina for a cancel. Was it Raiden?
Scorpion. There was Scorpion and somebody else.
Oh, Takeda.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
it actually does take stamina. Right, I'm actually in training mode right now. No, for Swarm Queen as well, to cancel the bug, the dash out of it.
So they could really only do that pressure string twice in a row, and then they have to commit to something.
Yeah, it takes a full bar to go backwards and 25% of a bar to go forwards. Of the stamina bar.
Right. Well, I'm glad someone's prepared tonight, Scott. Thank you so much.
I have training mode. I have training mode fired up right now for any questions.
Yes, finish him. Excellent. Well, that's great.
The second you asked, I immediately just went click Devora.
Awesome. Well, that's good to know. That means at least she's not. They must have had infinite stamina. Pet peeve real quick about some of the videos coming out from people is that they're not always what is advertised. So, because all the imposter combos, right? Well, if you notice, everybody, they'll hit you with the imposter grab, and then they'll just jump in at you, and apparently, even though the combo counter's reset, that counts as a combo. It doesn't, okay? Just Anyways, I was like, oh, cool, imposter combos. Wait, didn't I read that you can't combo off this like Quan Chi's trance? I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. Interesting. Anyways. This is going to be the theme of the new episode is how much does Nathan
Same
hate
thing about
Shiva?
the Katana Infinite that just got announced about.
Really?
What? I'm sorry, Nathan. Yes.
I had no idea. So what's this new Infinite that we got going on?
Infinite is mournful variation, yes. But apparently, I actually just been testing it out like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I think it only works on Goro. Because I've done it on 3 different characters, and when you go into the string into the glaive whiffs over character hits, but it will hit Goro because I guess his body flips backwards.
Huh.
I don't know.
Interesting.
But apparently it's a thing now.
I heard that they already patched out Liu Kang's Infinite, right?
Yes, and Jackie's.
Okay. Well, at least they're keeping abreast of the situation, which is good. Good to know. Well, all right. Okay, let's talk about Northwest Majors. And I really only saw, I think, top 5. So, Shijinki Dink, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, from Canada. I know that much. played a really good Quan Chi, and then Wonder Chef, right? He played excellent Quan Chi, ended up winning.
Yes.
And Summoner Quan Chi, who knew, whatever they're calling that bat, whatever cute fighting game community nickname they thought for the fucking bat.
Everybody's different. It's just like with Zod. Everybody has to have a name for their little demon they summoned. Everybody has a name for their bat.
You know, I do support the petition to change Devorah's little worm friend's name to Silky with the Teen Titans reference. I think that's pretty hilarious. I like that one a lot. I supported that for sure. Thumbs up.
That would be hilarious.
But yeah, Summoner Quan Chi versus Kung Jin. The weird battle of Vortex Zoner and In Your Face, but also Zoner. Interesting. So, what do you guys think from Northwest Majors? I was impressed by the level of play. There were tester jokes all around, but I enjoyed watching some pretty highly sophisticated MKX gameplay. What do you guys think from what you saw? Quentin, go first. Hello? Uh-oh, we might have lost Quentin.
All right,
Oh, there he is.
Okay. So from what I saw, I like. Oh, what happened? Am I back in?
No,
Okay,
you're back.
anyways.
Go for it.
From what I saw, I liked a lot of what I saw. I did. I do feel like though that Slayer could have / should have beat the Quan Chi. I feel like cause he changed variations in early, like late in, and I feel like he decided to pick the wrong one.
Oh, I didn't see that. Which variation did he go to?
If I recall correctly, he well, I won't say it's the wrong variation, but he chose and he went to Ancestral for 1 point, but couldn't get anything off with the arrow, which kind of causing the topics. The character selection I saw like really good character, right? I didn't think I would see. You know, there were like 1 or 2 characters I knew I'd see, like Reptile, for example, which I do feel like Reptile is one of the best characters in that game, and I'll get into that later on to why. But Chris G was playing Reptile, and he was doing really good with Reptile. And I didn't expect to see Reptile or Scorpion up top.
Right, and then Justin Wong playing Raiden. That was pretty cool to see.
I did not expect that at all. It was a mind blower.
Yeah, very good.
Mind fact. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
All right, Scott, go ahead. Northwest Majors impressions.
Yeah, Quan Chi, I didn't expect Quan Chi to be that good, but he seems to be able to make himself safe.
Wong was playing Raiden.
Nope, I think Quentin. Quentin, can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
It's a little.
Now.
It's lagging a little bit.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
So, Scott, continue. You were just talking about how you didn't really expect Quan Chi to be so good so fast. Continue on.
Yeah, I mean, the bat seems to be able, even if he does do something that's punishable, just have the bat make you safe. Right. So it seems really hard to punish him, and then he gets such good damage, I mean, with the bat out even. That, and, I mean, I knew Kung Jin was going to be good, but dear God, his damage output.
Yeah, I was really surprised by just how much damage even those jab combos into the dive kick were doing. I mean, they killed at times when, I mean, you just didn't really expect it. And I guess, you know, it's a new game, you get used to it. But it was just really surprising, and to be that surprising so fast was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive stuff from Kung Jin, for sure. Very nice. All right. Let's see here. Are there any upcoming events? We know Combo Breakers coming up later this month, so that'll be interesting to watch. They're in Chicago, the Heartland itself, so we'll see what the GGA guys, I bet they're going to be bringing the hype at Combo Breaker for sure. So that'll be cool
Yeah, I've
to
been
watch.
watching Ghost Battles, and they've been amazing to watch right
Yeah?
now.
Oh, great. I didn't know that they were... Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I just haven't seen any posts about that.
Yeah, I only got to watch one so far, and I know Pim Pim Jim is on Raiden.
Cool.
Or, I'm sorry, he's on Reptile, and his Reptile is amazing.
Nice. Very cool. Well, I'll have to hop on, maybe put a link to Ghost Battle stuff. That's on... is it called the GGA Fighters YouTube page?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Quentin.
Linked straight to the Twitch.
Oh, okay, yeah, Twitch archives. Nice. Well, shout outs to Ghost Battles. If you don't watch them, go watch them, for sure, because I know I'll be doing that. Always got to find something to do on the drive to work. Okay. Upcoming events. Combo Breaker. What else? Anybody know of any other upcoming events? Well, Brutality.
Brutality.
Right, May 30th. Of course, we're looking forward. Shout outs to Chris Rumler if he happens to hear this podcast and he's listening to it perhaps on his way to work. We're hopefully going to see you soon, man, and it's going to be hype when you show up for sure. Bring some friends from Indy. That'll be hype. It'll be awesome. So yeah, Brutality May is going to be a good time. I'll be putting out some details about that soon. This is finals week for me, so a little busy, but I should have some time to put out the Facebook page and get that out there with some different details about Brutality May and how we're hopefully going to make it better than April, and just keep building on that. So yeah, awesome. Quentin, do you know of any other tournaments upcoming soon? Maybe June. Is that CEO time, June? I don't recall. Well, I know CEO's coming up soon, so it could be. That'll be
Yes,
awesome.
I do not, but I know that I'm trying to go to combo.
Oh, the Combo Breaker? Nice.
I think it's lagging again.
Yeah, it's lagging a little bit, but it's okay. We'll just wait, and then when we do like the take turns, when I say go Quentin go, then it'll be easier, See, now it's not lagging so bad. Who knows? Skype always had some trouble earlier. But alright, so that's all for events. We really only have a couple other topics to go, and before we get to the entertaining tier list talk, we've got to bring up PS4 versus Xbone, and we'll just leave PC. Sorry, Quentin, but we're not going to talk about Steam. I mean, we know that Steam had problems. We know they're being worked on, but PC is not going to be the standard at any console or at any tournament in our near future. So.
And PC players don't seem to have a problem with either system, because I asked Paris how he felt, and he said it feels good to him on both.
Really?
No.
Interesting. Quentin, you said no.
You said
okay,
no.
So yeah, go for it. Quentin, tell us a little bit about your impressions, between the versions of the ones you've played so far.
Oh, I mean, I feel like they're both okay. They're both great, but there is some things I noticed though. The Xbox version to me, it seems like there's like a bit of an input lag. Is that?
I've just got to make this joke, Quentin. Sorry at your expense, but you're having voice input lag, and the Xbox One might have input lag. So.
Yes. Uh-oh.
It's just funny because the way Skype is accommodating for it is it drags out what you're saying. So you sound like.
Sorry.
It's not your fault, man. It's the internet's fault. Don't worry about it. I just think it's hilarious. So that's interesting. You detect input lag between the way you usually play on PC and the Xbone. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then Scott, you and I detect input lag between Xbone and PS4, right?
Right.
So Quentin, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you, let's take it all the way through, do you as a PC primary player detect any input lag on PS4?
Not that I have played. Not that I have played. But it's weird though because it only happens sometimes on the Xbox, not like all the time.
Oh, okay.
Because like there was a time like I was playing at Ale on a couple Thursdays ago when it first came out. I played on the Xbox and like there was a point where like I was in the middle of doing a combo with Melina and then like the game just like slowed down, and then it caught back up, and I was just like, "What's going on?" And then it did it one more time that night, but
That sounds really weird.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's just technology. It can't always be consistent. I'm having flashbacks to Chris G and like the monitor lag and the PS3 lag and all that stuff. I mean, maybe, you never know what actually happened, but it's certainly a possibility. But yeah, that you experienced that, it's just, one more piece of evidence that these consoles are not always going to be the same thing. It's not always going to be the same experience, even same brand of console to brand of console. But yeah, Scott, a lot of our players at Brutality April were saying, it feels a little bit different on PS4 and we're not hitting our stuff. Maybe tournament jitters, maybe not. Nobody, not quite 100% certain on that. But I played some casuals over at my friend Aaron's place, and I did feel a little bit of input lag that I had to adjust for. So, I mean, eventually you get used to it. But it does feel like the versions have differences. Scott, I know that you were planning on making a post about that on Test Your Might. Did you get around to doing that?
No, not yet. I'll make it tonight, though. That way we can, see what Test Your Might feels about it.
They will rip you apart. Probably.
Oh, I know, but I've made hilarious posts before, so.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Well, just hopefully it won't get locked, because there is a difference. There is, even if it's minute, there is a difference between the versions, I think. And a lot of our local players think so. So, that begs the question, though, for players who are playing on PS4 exclusively and use the PS4 pad rather than arcade stick, or even the fight pad, the MKX fight pad, they, hopefully they'll keep coming out. I'm thinking of MK Legend in particular. He's really attached to his controllers, and I would hope that if we do make the switch to X-Bone for Brutality May, I'm hoping that he still shows up to events. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be disheartening.
Yeah, well, I mean, full disclosure, I bought a few of the pads, and I'm letting him borrow the PS4 one to see if he likes it. And then if he does, I'm just going to consider it a gift, and I'll give him both, so that way he can practice at home, and then he can come to X-Bone only tournaments at Arcade Legacy, if that's what we decide to do, and then he'll be able to play in both. So, yeah.
Now the weird question I have to ask: did you buy the MKX, like the actual fight pad itself?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see how much they're going for on eBay now?
Dude, I heard you talked about scalping, and something in my brain clicked, and I just went out and bought a few, because I was like, I'm not playing that. No thanks.
Yeah, they're going for like over $100, $150 on eBay now.
Oh man!
I luckily got both.
2015, year of the scalper, I tell you.
Yeah, I luckily got both of them already. Also.
Yeah, I just got. Spoiler alert to Aaron Wright, if you're listening right now, your early birthday present is a PS4, PS3, MKX pad. So happy birthday, buddy!
Yeah, I was playing with Aaron and Gabe that night. He apparently was having some problems with his controller.
Yeah.
Stuff.
It's the way his thumb hits it, especially in training mode. And I watched him try to play training mode with Scorpion, and it kept resetting because his thumb brushed that trackpad. And I'm like, dude, that sucks so much.
Yeah, that's awful.
So I got him that pad as an early birthday gift, and then yeah, we'll see it. Hopefully, MK Legend likes the fight pad, and if he does, I told him he can have both as long as he keeps coming to events and my events and Arcade Legacy events in general. Then I'll consider it an even trade. And then I told him if he doesn't like it, I'll just take it back and. Well, Scott, I'll scalp it. So, why not? Get my money back.
Exactly.
You get double your money back.
Dude, that would be hype. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, I just, I think, was it just him that plays PS4 exclusively, Scott? Do you remember?
I think him and Eric O.
Okay.
Is that his name?
That might have been the other Molina player that you were talking about.
Yeah, the other Molina player.
Eric O. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
Oh, and Chase.
Yeah. Chase
I
Chase
forgot.
can play both though. If he managed to get an arcade stick, he would probably be okay. Or if he wanted to like,
Chase,
go ahead.
Chase is one of those players that adapts like me to like
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure if he got something that can work with both, he'd be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't really adapt that fast. I don't know. Just not my thing, I guess. Well, yeah, PS4 v Xbone, and then PC somewhere over in the woods. But yeah, there's definitely there's definitely some differences in I think the input timing. Scott, you would agree. A lot of our players would agree. So we'll post, and I'll pop in and support. Tag me in it, and
Okay.
I'll pop in and say, hey, yeah, I ran this event. I had multiple players saying that they detected a difference from playing Xbone at home and PS4 at the tournament. And not even just in the tournament, it was in casual play too, where there wasn't as much stress. So, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. So just a quick tally. Would you guys at Brutality May, assuming you both come, do you think that Xbone would be the way to go? And be honest, what do you think?
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I I don't really care either way because I'll play on stick. But as
Okay.
long as but my problem was that I don't does the do you know if the whole how they have the stick support is that an Xbox One version?
No,
Do you
it's
No,
know
it's
only for
not.
like
PS4.
see that would be a problem for me
Yeah,
because we have to have Xbox One sticks and you
yeah,
know for a lot of people it'd be a problem. Like I know like Tuco and those guys were playing, but we
mm,
could never use it on the Xbox because we
yeah,
had PS3 sticks or PS3 360 sticks,
yeah. And
and
I went out and
we
I
couldn't play on the
got,
Xbox.
and I got a powered USB device, and I took the battery out of my PS4 controller. So what I can do is plug all that into the PS4, and then all of a sudden I've got 5 USB slots out of the PS4 so that you can plug in 2 wired PS4 controllers if you decide to take the batteries out of both. But I know mine will have the battery out, not so as not to interrupt someone's game mid-game, which happened a couple times at Brutality, and I knew it would, and I was very unhappy about that. But yeah, I've got some controllers I've got that USB device, the powered one.
No, at
So I don't
Northwest
know.
Majors also,
Yeah, tell me more.
they actually had to set up a desync station. That way, the
Mm-hmm.
second you got off the console, you had to
Mm-hmm.
report to the desync station.
Yep. Yep. That was a thing that I did at PowerUp 2012 because there were a few pad players for PS3 at that time too. Mm-hmm. So good old desync stations are back. I just took the battery out of my controller and made it wired. Although I heard, and Scott, I'm not sure if you also read this, but apparently Tom Brady was posting about on Twitter that if there are enough PS4 controllers in one room, the Bluetooth communication signals start to get kind of like mixed up and can result in input lag. Did you read that?
Yes, I read all about Brady bringing that up. He even brought that up in Northwest Majors
Yeah.
because of some of the players were feeling it. They said that like the desync station even was causing problems because of how many controllers were going to the desync station at a time.
Mm-mm-mm. Man, you can never win sometimes in the fighting game community. Let me see if I
And
can add.
that's what I brought up also to you before. This same similar kind of thing happened with Injustice at first because when Injustice first started,
Hmm.
it was
Sorry.
PS3.
Oh, you're good, Quentin. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but on PS3, it was PS3 when it started until
Hmm.
people really realized that it was better on 360.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Xbone will probably end up being the way to go. It's just, man, I wish that there was the option to use your old arcade sticks on
Yes.
on Xbox One. Because I've got one Xbone stick and my PS4 stick's still in limbo somewhere. Mad Catz still hasn't even charged me for the darn thing. But it
Really?
said ship in April, so it's not technically May yet, so I can't call them angrily yet. But I will very soon. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. If I had to just choose a standard for Brutality May, I would just choose X-Bone. And I just don't want any more interruptions to the tournament. I just don't. But not everybody can play, so.
See, that's my thing. I'll play, since I have the controller for both, because Adam Jackson, when we did our match and when I sent him to losers, he had the same problem because he couldn't get his fireballs fast enough to interrupt Jackie shooting him.
Ah.
And then he attributes the PS4 for a reason why he even got sent to losers.
Yeah. Well.
But
saltiness aside, I mean that could have been something that happened.
We did a run back, and he actually sent me out of the tournament. With losers finals was me versus Action Jackson.
And in those, yeah, go ahead.
Before we had our match, while the entire time after him fighting through, every other time he went to a PS4 and just sat there practicing until he got the timing down because of the input lag on the PS4.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, whichever one you play on, it's not a big deal. Because you'll adapt.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'll just practice until I get it down on both systems.
Right, but that's the thing. Popping back and forth between both systems, that's the trouble. And that creates the inconsistency and the annoyance and it makes it harder for the players to focus on their match because they're thinking about their input timing rather than the next phase of their mix-up or the next phase of their defense or whatever. Just throwing that in there is unfair for the player. It keeps them from playing at their best. Even if they're a beginner, putting that obstacle in front of them, it was like, oh man, wait, so this combo I need to do half a second earlier because otherwise it won't hit. And now they're thinking about that combo and not what they're going to do next. So, yeah, definitely not a good thing. Well, alright, that's enough about that. Check that one off my list. So, PS4B X-Bone, there is an issue there that we as a community and, MKX community as a whole, Test Your Might's going to have to deal with. So, we're going to try to get Quentin back in here for super happy fun time making the tier list. This is going to be good. Let me add him back in. Scott, so you and I, we both have our opinions about the tier list, right? Got him ready to go? Awesome. I did this at work. I was like, I'm bored. It's slow. So, who do I think's better?
I don't have a full tier list yet, but I have characters that I've seen and characters that I've played where they kind of place-wise.
I don't have variations yet. I just don't think we've seen enough to really know. But I do have the characters just themselves. And then, so far, the top characters have only been really played as a single variation. So... Quentin keeps dropping in it. We'll remove him and then we'll add him back. Okay, there we go. If he doesn't pop in this time, we'll just start, and then if he pops in later, we'll get his input.
Sorry.
There he goes. All right, so Quentin, it's super happy fun time. It's tier list time. Hopefully you are ready. Time to test your might, or test your strength, or test your something. Alright, so here we go. Who wants to go first? Scott, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I can go with who I think is S and who I think is A. And
okay.
I definitely think Quan Chi is a maybe an S tier now.
Okay, so S tier Quan. Alright.
Just the fact that he can make himself safe. Long as he has a bad owl.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could just be, if we go with the variation thing, it could just be that variation. The other variations might not be very good. But at least right now, where he is, he's good. Nice. And I would even put maybe Kun Jin in the S tier purely on damage alone.
Yeah, right.
But those are the only two I feel that maybe are the S tier right now. Because I think Kung Lao definitely fits an A-rank character. He's good in everything he does. He can punish pretty much anything in the game. And then, surprisingly enough, I would put Jackie in A.
Okay.
I think the tools she has make her a solid A character. But now for my other character, I would put him in C, D tier for Kenshi because of everything he does requires a meter. He doesn't build the meter the way he should build meter.
Right.
And every single thing he has is punishable. Kind of like you complained about with Shinnok.
It sounds like
he
Shinnok
has
syndrome.
Nothing that's safe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm still gonna stick with him as a secondary. I prefer Kenjutsu, which is the frowned upon variation, but I don't have to deal with the full screen because I'm not a full screen character at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mid screen in your face version of Kenshi.
Yeah.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yes. You sound really good this time.
Yeah, this sounds better.
I'm so sorry. I don't know
It's
what's
okay.
going on.
Don't worry about it. We've just been continuing on. Scott is sharing with us his tier list. Let me get you up to date and a good review for listeners. S tier so far, Quan Chi, probably just a summoner variation. Not sure yet. More videos and testing required. Kung Jin, based just on damage, S tier. A tier, Kung Lao, Jackie, and then continuing down Scott's list of characters. C tier is Kenshi so far. He was explaining that Shinnok syndrome, Kenshi punishable, non-meter building, very bad, sad times. So, Scott, continue on with your list.
Then, let me go to the character select screen. That'll be even better here. Let's see. I think Devora is an A-tier character. She's really good at everything she does. Full screen confirms, good damage. I kind of feel the same way about Jax. Not a lot of people play Jax, but what I've seen from good Jax players is he looks really good.
Okay.
And then, of course, like Quentin said, Reptile.
A-tier.
I think Reptile is a solid A character. Good damage, really quick. Just everything's good about him.
Nice.
Now, if we want to go with variation again, I think Inferno Scorpion is the A-list variation for him.
Okay.
Easy damage, easy combos, just really good.
Yes, sir.
Let's see.
Continue on. Start with the characters that you have the strongest feelings about, and then if I want to ask you about some of the other characters, just as like party gifts or party favors, we'll get to those later. But yeah, whoever you think can really fit in a certain ranking so far.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, what I've said so far, I definitely think Quan Chi and Kung Jin are an S, Jackie an A, Kenshi's probably C, maybe D, depending on where we go in the lifespan.
Right.
And then from watching Sonic Fox, I'm going to put Aaron Black in A.
Ah, very nice. Mr. Black.
Purely on the fact that if you watch Sonic Fox, he's not doing anything fancy. It's just pure, you're going to restand, now I'll deal with my pressure.
Right. Very nice.
But that's, other than, I think Goro's really, really bad.
Yeah.
I think
like
Goro's
D-tier.
Yes. Because a lot of people can't deal with his armor right now, but once you get past his armor, he does a lot of damage, but he can't wake up against most of the characters like Kung Jin or Jack. He just can't wake up against them.
Right.
A lot of people know that if you can bait him in his jump and backdash or forward dash to get away from it.
Yeah. And then punish away.
So I definitely think Goro's not a good character at all.
I agree, for sure. That's a little spoiler to my list, but I'm pretty sure Goro's at the bottom. All right, anybody else? Do you want to join me and say Shinnok's right there with Goro?
I would, yeah,
I know it's hard to say. You're kind of an imposter believer too, which I haven't really messed with the variation, but
I think imposter's a good B, C tier.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. We'll put him in B for your list. Just I'll be nice.
Yeah, I definitely see your problem because when I was actually in Alex Valle's stream talking to him about it a little bit, and he feels the same way I do about Bone Shaper is. Now, I'll ask you as a Shinnok player so we can get this out of the way. If I'm full screen shooting you with Jackie, what are you going to do?
Nothing, man. Eat the trades and then hope. That's it. Because, you know what else was crazy in that Kung Lao set with with MK Legend because I was trying to convince him that Shinnok was bad, but still try to beat him in the game, and I just couldn't really do it. But I was using that full screen amulet blast, and he punished me a little bit more than mid-screen on a whiff from that thing. So talk about a horrible projectile. Jeez, that thing's so bad. And
yeah, because when Alex Vi were talking about that, that's what he said. You can get zoned out too easy.
And for a character, Bone Shaper, who is meant to play like a footsie-based / zoning game, not to have that tool, a fast, quick projectile that does significant damage, just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Not to me.
Even if they could just give him the teleport, maybe in all variations.
Yeah, maybe give him like some sort of bone teleport where the hands come up and like they grab him, but then they come up underneath you, or make it like Rocket Raccoon. The hands grab him and then he can go back and forth and pop back up or something. I don't know. I'm not a designer at MRS. They'll do their thing. But yeah, I mean, Imposter B tier. I can roll with that. I think that the left right may be strong. The Force may be strong with Imposter Shinnok, perhaps. I'm not sure. All right. Who else? Who's you got?
I think Takita's an A tier. I think Takita's really solid in everything that he does. He's got a decent teleport, decent damage, and then really fast mid-screen overheads and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I think Kodo Khan is probably C tier. If he gets in, which he can work his way in, he can duck and slowly walk his way in, then a lot of damage happens.
Mm-hmm.
But he suffers from the same thing that if there is a character that can zone, he kind of sits there for a little bit.
Yeah. Kodal's on my bottoms list too. Quentin, you disagree?
Oh, I'm just listening to everything. You know?
All right, Scott. Continue onward. Any other characters you feel? What about Cassie? Where's Cassie standing at?
I think she's A.
A? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
None of her variations are bad.
Mm-hmm.
All three are pretty good. Solid resets, solid unblockables.
Mm-hmm.
I plan on still playing her, especially once my hand comes out of this cast.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a little bit more mobility with the fingers. I'm definitely going to pick her back up. And...
Awesome. I can't wait, man. It's going to be awesome.
But I after watching, like, for instance, you brought up Rio. Rio plays Cassie.
Yes.
I mean, if you wanted a character on the tier list, or anybody, Rio, Tom Brady, these players that have played these NRS games since the beginning, can identify a decent character, at least, from the beginning.
I can also identify Rio's beard now from a mile away. I didn't recognize the guy on the Northwest Badger stream. I'm like, who is this player whose name is Rio? That's not Rio. Wait, it is. Dude, his beard. Legit. Shout-outs to your beard, Rio. Virtual beard high five. Your beard is tingling now I'm talking about you. But yeah, that was pretty awesome because I didn't recognize
Not everybody's age was like Tom Brady.
Right. Smooth Brady. Yes. Very good. Yeah, there's lots of beard jokes this year, too. 2015, years of beards and scalpers. Interesting. All right. Raiden, A tier, perhaps?
I would say A, maybe B, because his Displacer, which a lot of people were so hyped for watching the combat cast, is crappy.
Yeah.
It is a crappy variation. The traps just aren't good enough. Like, for instance, I'll actually give Garrett or Kinchinoyo a little shout out here that Hat Trick isn't as bad as everyone thought it is. I blame it mostly on Kung Lao being a good character overall, but he can maintain pressure with putting a trap out.
Cool. All right. I have.
I'll go ahead and set up for maybe somebody else you might want to have come on the podcast. But Liu Kang, where do I think he's at?
Oh yes, tell me. I feel B coming. What do you say?
I'm gonna say B. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a pretty different list from.
No, that's great.
What I've heard.
That's good. That creates the discussion.
Yes, exactly. All right, so let's let's get to Quentin's list, and then we'll kind of go over mine. Mine's kind of similar to yours, it seems, though, so far, Scott. So, although, Quentin, you're not going to like one of mine. I know you're not, but that's okay.
Where Melina's at?
Yeah, Scott, dude, how do we, man? I don't know. We're on the same
That's why
wavelength.
the very first message I asked you is what character you play.
Oh, no, Quentin dropped out of the call. No, he hates us now. No, he's coming back. Okay. All right, Scott, it's going to be lightning round. We're going to say, I'm going to tell you the character's name, and then if you feel strongly about that character plus a variation, say character variation, and then shoot me a tier. If you don't feel really strongly about a variation, just shoot me the tier. And we'll go S, A, B, C, D. Sound good?
Yep.
This is interesting.
All right, so let's rock it out. Johnny Cage, where do you think?
I would say C.
C? Okay, Johnny. He's got to get rid of that tattoo. Maybe he'll move up to B. Sonya.
Sonya, I'm going to say B.
B? Okay.
Yes.
Sonya. All right. Sub-Zero.
A.
Hey. Cold. Cold as ice. Kano.
B, possible A.
B. B plus plus. B plus plus A plus plus. I don't know. Anyways, it's a bad joke. Ermac.
I think variation Master of Souls is an A.
Master of Souls is an A. Okay, Ermac. O-S. All right. Katana.
I'm going to say B.
B. Ferrator.
Purely because I don't know yet,
Yeah.
I want to say D.
D. We'll see. I don't know. Also on my bottoms, though. Melina. Very last one.
I'm going to say C. And the possibility, if she doesn't get any plus frames, she has to get some plus frames on something or something that's not punishable. Otherwise, she's just going to fall.
Yep. All right, so that's Scott's list. Thank you very much, sir. Quentin, much different list. We'll do the same thing. Not lightning round yet, but give me the characters you feel most strongly about. Let's try to keep it in the same template, though. S, A, B, C, D. Sound good?
That works.
All right, so yeah, shoot me up with some of your initial thoughts, strongest characters, weakest characters. You name it, I'll write it down.
Okay, so in my regards on some of the strongest characters in the game, I think there's Kung Jin.
Okay.
I think Cassie, Quan Chi, Liu Kang. I think those guys are very, very. I think they're very, very, very high.
Okay.
Because
S tiers.
Yes, I would like to put them up there. I don't know in what regard, but I know that they're up there because I've actually sat around with the whole cast and messed around with things, seen things, messed around with things, and some of these characters just have some really ridiculous stuff. Like Reptile, for example, all three of his variations are extremely good. All three of them. And in Reptile's case, he has 2 low starting strings that hit from almost a character's distance away that are extremely fast.
So Reptile S tier then.
That is already a problem because one of the lows makes him low profile. That goes under certain mids and highs in special moves.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
The back, I think it's the back 3.
Back 3.
Yes, it is that move. It is extremely good.
Okay.
Extremely good. And not to mention, he gets combos out of him. Like it's just like, oh, okay. Like, and then my other strong characters I feel like are strong are Grandmaster Sub-Zero.
Okay. A or S tier?
I would put him like lower A.
So we're coming down into the A's now.
Yes.
Sub-Zero, Grandmaster.
I just have a bunch of characters that I feel like are strong right now. And those are the ones I'm gonna get at first.
Okay.
And then I feel like Thunder God. I feel like Thunder God Raiden is also like upper A.
Okay.
For sure. Devora, Hellfire Scorpion, and Cybernetic Kano. Cybernetic Kano is extremely good.
Okay.
He is extremely good. And then Liu Kang, I think Flame Fist Liu Kang is like I said already, is really good. I think Kung Lao's pretty good. I also think that Jackie is a sleeper character. I think she's really good, but
Okay. A plus, maybe A tier.
yeah, definitely an A. Definitely in the A's. In the A's. Um, I don't know. I don't really. The other characters, I just feel like they're all like wishy washy at the
Okay.
moment. I
Well,
do feel like
yeah.
I
Who do you feel are like the shitty characters?
the worst characters in the game. I think are I really do think are
Yeah.
Shinnok, Sonya.
Sonya? Oh yeah, that was the one that I found very interesting. Tell us why Sonya so bad.
Okay, I think the only thing that she has that's good
Mm-hmm.
is the drone variation.
Mm.
But if you kind of look at her kit as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't really have much. She has extreme problems with like zoning and being able to get people off of her
Okay.
in different regards. Well, I just feel like there's one thing particular in the drone variation is the whatever the lightning shot is that tracks. I think that's extremely good
Mm-hmm.
because even if she gets hit, it's still out. It's still a tag. It's still gonna go to you
Mm-hmm.
regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's pretty good. But overall, I feel like she's a really bad character.
Okay. All right. Continue on. Who else is on the crappy
Um,
side?
I think Farrah. I'm thinking that Ferrator are pretty bad, but I don't think they're as bad as those other two characters. I
Okay,
think,
so maybe C tier Ferrator.
yes, like lower C because apparently this is the thing. This is characters like this are always the ones that people say are bad, but then figure out, oh crap, they got some really good stuff because apparently Ferrator, when you use Farah or Fair, whatever her name is, you can't do any special moves with her until she comes back to you. So
Right.
it makes placing how she works like a lot harder. You have to play it a lot smarter. And I learned this and I figured this out because at first I thought she was really bad, but I played Webster in like 30 matches on Steam on the PC one day, and he kind of helped to change my mind a little bit because Ferrator actually has some really good stuff, but it just seems like they're really tough to like play and figure out.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
and then after that, I think Katana's really good as well too. I don't know. Everybody else I feel like are just kind of like there, like
Yeah.
somewhere in there, especially my character as well too.
No strong feeling. What about Melina? You played Melina enough. Where do you think she stands?
Look, okay, I think Melina is about average or like mid average.
B,
Like in like
tier.
middle C, upper C.
Okay.
Area, maybe even branch into B
All
because.
right, we'll put her in B for you.
See, here's the thing. This is what I think about Melina because she's always been this type of character since I can remember.
Mhm.
She's one of those characters that has especially MK9, she has really good like high-low game and mix-ups, but everything about her is very punishable, which would make sense for the type of character she is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this regard, in this game though, it seems like they neutered a few things from her that they should not have.
Yeah.
I'm okay with her specials being like unsafe. That's fine. That makes sense for me. But I feel like they could have given her a better overhead, I will say, because her overhead is extremely slow. And it's pretty easy to just go up, down one, and stop her out of it. So, it's almost like if I catch you with that overhead, you were probably not paying attention and you were sleeping. You were sleeping. I do, but I feel like she has really good. She has really good options in Ravenous. I personally, from what I've experienced, I feel like Ravenous is her best variation.
Oh, okay.
Like I've been discussing with a bunch of people on like Touch Your Mind and other forums and talking about people on Twitter and stuff, whatever. But I feel like Ravenous is her best variation because you get so many more options with that variation where it comes like the crouch grab, chain grabs, the standing grab, chain grabs. And the standing grab hits crouching and standing and can anti-air. She has so many different options in that variation. Whereas piercing to me seems like it's just like a standard like variation for a character who's just like, oh, I just want to play this character and I'll leave it at that.
I see.
Some of her piercing normals have a bit better range,
Mhm.
but That's really it, and you get access to a low side, but then you miss out on your command, like your command chain grabs that
Right.
can catch people trying to like fuzzy guard or duck randomly your stuff, or it's just that the options that Ravenous has are just to me, I just feel like are light years. I can
All
hear
right.
that variations.
Absolutely. All right, so let's play a lightning round. Speaking of
All
light
right.
years, just give me your gut feeling. S A B C D. You don't have really that many characters left to go over, so here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Kotal Khan.
I feel like Kotal Khan is probably like upper D, lower C.
Upper D, so pretty low though. Kotal. All right. How about Kenshi?
I feel like Kenshi's pretty bad. I feel like he's definitely in the bottom.
Bottom. So we'll put him in the D. All right. Next up, Ermac.
I think Ermac is really good. Actually, that's another character I forgot to speak about.
Like S tier good or A tier?
Oh, I think he's higher A.
All right. Okay.
Because Cameron actually has been playing Ermac, and we've gotten a lot of sets in. So, and I feel like the people who are saying that Ermac is kind of like just like okay, like pretty good, haven't actually played him because Ermac has this ridiculously good vortex in this game that is extremely tough to get around.
It's very interesting. How does it work?
Like, he has really good overhead strings and he has so he has really good overhead strings and really good low strings. Now, the thing is that Ermac has an interesting thing. If he does I think it's whichever levitate it is that holds you up in the air.
Yeah.
Apparently, if he does the combo into that levitate and holds you up in the air, if he does not hit you when you drop, it does an unscaled 20% damage, right?
As you fall?
Yes, as you hit the ground, it does unscaled damage.
What?
So what Ermac players will do is they'll do their strong combos, finish with that, let you drop, and then start another mix-up. Now, he also has another mix-up where his strings, he can hit you into a combo from his strings from overheads or lows, and then he can do a jab. And because the jab string he has puts you at 0, it also starts his vortex upon that. He has many different vortex options that'll just start him from any time or anywhere.
Ermac seems a little
is extremely good.
busted, like in some
mention-
respects.
Not to mention also in one of the I believe it's the variation that Kieran plays is the Master of Souls.
Yeah.
He has an EX move that'll like grip you or hold you, and it actually steals meter from you as well. So then he has a full screen move called, I think it's the Soul Ball. If he hits you from full screen, it's a trap. So it holds you, and he can decide when he wants to burst you out of it to make you float until he can juggle you.
Say what? That's awesome.
Yes. Ermac has a lot of extremely good things that I think a lot of people are like.
Well, all right. How about Jax?
All right, sorry. I think Jax is like B.
B.
Pumped up Jax. I think pumped up Jax is
Pump him up.
the one. I would.
Okay. Takeda.
I think that I think Takeda is about B as well too. I messed around with the Ronin variation as well to see what we're thinking about, and I do think that Ronin is the variation of choice from what I'm listening to and trying out.
Does he still have the dagger, the low dagger in Ronin?
Yes. And here's the thing about Ronin now, that apparently he has an overhead low string, which is extremely good in a game like this. An overhead low string that cancels right into the whatever the lightsaber traps are. So even if think of it this way: if you block the overhead and get hit by the low, you're still in the mix-up. If you get hit by the overhead and the low, you're still in the mix-up regardless. That's very dangerous.
But of course. All right, Kung Lao.
I think Kung Lao is higher B.
Higher B?
Higher B, yes.
Okay. And then Johnny Cage.
I think Johnny Cage is about an average.
Average.
Yeah, maybe about C.
Okay. Johnny. Poor Johnny. Aaron Black.
I think Aaron Black is in B category as well with Kung Lao.
Oh, B2?
I really do feel like that. Maybe even breaking into A a little. Yes, I'm sorry. I think I'm lagging out a little.
That's all right. Like I said, not your fault. And we only got one character left. The big old G-Man himself, Goro.
I know. I don't think
Is there a
Goro's.
G tier? Do we have to make a G tier for Goro?
I actually don't think Goro is that bad.
No? What do you think? C tier? Stick along with
I
Ferritor?
think he's I think he's around the area with Ferritor for
Okay.
sure. I really do.
All right, we'll skip my lightning round because my list is really similar to yours, Scott. But as we're tailing out on this podcast, thank you guys so much for being here, first of all, which is really great. And hopefully YouTube and iMovie will cooperate with me and allow me to put up a nearly 2-hour podcast. Here's hoping. Anyways, we're going to play one final little lightning round, and it's going to be for the DLC characters. Where do you think they're going to lie on the tier list? Scott? Well, I'll go first for this one. I'll go first for this one. Since I get to have a little fun. I think Jason is going to be B tier. I think Predator is going to be S tier. I think Tanya is going to be A tier. And I think Trimmer is going to be A tier. For no real reason. Not at all. Just because. Scott, go for it.
I definitely think Tanya is going to be A.
Okay.
I don't know too much about Trimmer. I mean, I'll put him in B.
Uh-huh.
I fear Jason's going to suffer from the same thing Goro. I can just feel Jason having a ton of armor that's going to be pointless.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could say C, maybe B on Jason.
Okay.
Predator, if he plays like everybody thinks, if he's going to be a combination of both the robots, Cyrax and Sector, I agree. He'll be S. If he's a combination of both, or if his variations are any of those robots, especially Sector, he will be good.
Nice. All right, Quentin, lightning round, DLC characters. Go, go, go.
I say Tanya's triple S tier. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Breaking the charts. Turn it up to 11. Here we go.
Sorry, that's just like my favorite character. She's in. No, I do feel like Tanya will probably be A tier.
Okay.
I think Predator will probably be A tier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know, something in me says that Tremor is going to be extremely good.
Okay.
I don't know. Something in me is saying that, and I feel like Jason's going to be, like they said, like Scott said, pretty much a tank. There's like a lot of armor for no reason.
Yeah, he's going to be the nemesis, pretty much.
Yeah. So I feel like he'll be like, you know, maybe lower A or B or something. Like
Gotcha.
I can't see him being like extremely good, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, all right. I lied. We're gonna do one more thing. We're gonna do our DLC Pack 2 prediction because we all know it's coming. So DLC Pack 2, I think is gonna be Rain, Baraka, Serena, and Fusion. So that's 4, right? Baraka, Rain, Serena, Fusion. Yes. So that's my prediction. Next DLC pack, Story Mode DLC pack. Quentin, go ahead.
All right, so for mine, I feel like I agree with you, Nathan. I think it'll be Serena, Fusion. Something in me is saying to say Raiko in a way because yes, I think Raiko might be in, but I don't know. That's just whatever.
Right.
But I also do think that Rain, Baraka, and Sindel are going to be in there somewhere.
Interesting.
I
All
really
right.
do think that.
Scott, take us out. Final prediction list of the evening or morning?
We've all played story mode probably, so that's why we're all saying Rain, Baraka, and Sindel. Because they wouldn't have put the characters in without making them DLC.
Right.
But I'm gonna call something. The fourth character is gonna be Freddy.
Ooh, I've kind of felt it in my gut. It's like, oh, they want that Freddy v Jason money.
That's what they're gonna do. It's gonna be Freddy. I will tell everybody now, if it's Fujin, every character will be dropped, and that will be my main.
That's the same way I am with Baraka, man. No matter how bad, how good.
Yeah, if it's the God of Wind, I'm on it.
if it's arm blades, I'm in there for sure.
Well, as long as I get my Tanya, I'm happy.
Well, Quentin, it's glad to know that someone got what he wanted in MKX.
I didn't get Jade, but I got Tanya.
Scott and I have to wait for our characters. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. Scott Stringer and Quentin Ross, you guys have been excellent here on the first episode of Season 5, hopefully I got that right, of the PowerUp podcast. I've been your host, Nathan Shields, and we will see everybody soon, and be hyped for Brutality, May 30th. Be hyped for Combo Breaker, May 23rd weekend. And for all of the players and locals who are listening or who are going to be on the podcast, thank you all for just being members of the community. So awesome. Let's take us out. Quentin, final words.
I like Mortal Kombat X.
Excellent. That's a good final phrase.
I like
the
it.
Final countdown. Scott, take us out, man.
Yeah, I love the game. I'm going to travel for it just like I did Injustice. Going to go to GGA, hang out with people. So Quentin and now we can all do this. I'm going to go ahead and say you can find me on Test Your Might at Sonic Lionheart, or just look me on Facebook at Scott Stringer.
I forgot all about that.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm at Osiren on Test Your Might and Twitter because I like my real name, but the internet is the internet, so I'll still use a pseudonym, a nickname, at least in forums. Quentin, go ahead and give shout-outs about where people can reach you.
I am Arkayne on Test Your Might. At not Arkayne on Twitter.
There you go.
And there we go from there. But I do have one ending regret I like to say.
Okay, what's up?
I am down for this thing we got going on about trying to compete with the other groups in the Mortal Kombat community.
Yes.
I will say this. I have actually been talking with Carl.
Okay.
And
Perfect Legend.
Yes. Because me and Carl talked a lot, like when Ultimate Marvel MK9 area was around, but yeah, we're gonna start. I'm gonna start traveling there.
Cool.
For some.
That'll be really good training.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
Really good without training.
Yeah.
Really good training. All right. Well, excellent. Yes, we're gonna be trying to do it up right in the Dayton, Cincinnati area. Bring everyone with us. Even those who are against us, we're going to bring them along too because they'll just make us stronger. So, definitely awesome. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and get on out The PowerUp Podcast's intro and outro music was provided by the one-man band Pitfall out of Cincinnati, Ohio. You can find Pitfall at soundcloud.com/pitfall-3. The PowerUp Podcast is a production of powerupfighters.org.